Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We are about to start. If you want to join us on the main stage, wherever you are in the salon, you're more than welcome. For those of you who are already here, congratulations. You chose to be today at a very special place, at a very special moment. Here in Paris-Saclay, you're at the heart of French innovation, a place where world-class academics institutions meet leading companies and groundbreaking startups. And today is a very special day indeed. It's the 6th edition of Paris-Saclay SPRING, a celebration of all innovation, a day during which those involved in innovation, research, science, and economic development come together to showcase scientific excellence and the best of technological innovation where it occurs on a daily basis. We were supposed to welcome the French Minister for Digital Transition and Telecommunications to officially open the 6th edition. Unfortunately, Monsieur Jean-Noël Barrot cannot be with us as planned this morning. His presence was required at Parliament to defend the project of military planning, and after all, who doesn't have that on a Thursday morning? And it's probably his loss, it's actually most surely his loss, because we do have a great program today. Through the HEC Démodé and the renowned Spring 50 Startup Challenge, you'll discover some very promising startups in a wide range of domains. We will also dive in the thrilling age of new space. You'll hear from leading companies and academic institutions like Safran, Total Energies, Centrale Supélec, AgroParisTech, and you'll get to hear what makes where we are such a unique place for research and business from the Paris-Saclay success makers. Because here, what's at stake today is to expect much more from innovation. Today is not just about novelty or empty claims, it's about bringing together the best of research with the best of entrepreneurship to tackle the world's most pressing issues. Today is about science for good. And in the face of climate change and the vital need for an ecological transition, innovation and research are critically important. So to open this 2023 Paris-Saclay Spring and shed some light on their solutions toward a more sustainable world, here are the representatives of Paris-Saclay Urban Authority and their academic partners. And I am now honored to welcome on stage Kristine DeValck, Professor and Dean of Degree Programs at HEC Paris, Estelle Iacona, President of the University Paris-Saclay, Eric Labaye, President of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris and the Ecole Polytechnique de Paris, and Pierre Joutard, Interim Director General of Paris-Saclay Development Authority. Thank you all for being with us this morning. Have a seat. We have a cozy place. It's just us right now. Professor DeValck, as the Dean of the Degree Programs at HEC Paris, you're a host today, so I guess the opening remarks are yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you today to our beautiful campus for the Paris-Saclay Spring 2023 edition. So what can you expect today? It will be a vibrant cocktail of the most brilliant minds and talent that foster innovation and entrepreneurship. You will see the cutting-edge technologies, a mix meetings between investors, entrepreneurs, and business experts, and you will be bluffed by all the creativity of the innovations as displayed. We're particularly pleased to welcome you today at HEC because with our 160 researchers, 4,500 degree students, and 650 employees, we breathe innovation and entrepreneurship every day. Entrepreneurial spirit is one of our core values, and this is really, we never are pleased with anything. We always improve, innovate, small innovations and big ones. Our 4 other core values are excellence, curiosity, responsibility and diversity, which are also all key for innovation. Without curiosity, there's no innovation. And innovation for innovation is not what we're looking for. We're looking for innovation that has a true impact on business and society, and for that we need responsible leaders as well as people that are able to exploit the diversity of our ecosystem. So I would like to welcome the other guests, Eric Labaye, the president of Ecole Polytechnique, the president of Institut Polytechnique de Paris, We share our wish to have this impact on business, industry, and society through teaching and research programs that we have together. Estelle Iacona, the president of Université Paris-Saclay, we share our strong belief that interdisciplinarity is a catalyst for research and innovation. And Pierre Joutard, of course, the big guy and the big team behind this organization. And thank you for your relentless commitment, bringing together communities and fostering collaboration.
Well, you said everything now. I can
Yes.
pretty much go. It is about teamwork. It is about fostering innovation. Professor, could you also tell us what it means for HEC to be hosting Paris-Saclay today? Because you know it's a rotating host, and now it's your turn. What does that mean for your institution?
I think there is two particular elements that we wanted to bring to the cocktail that is already extremely successful. One, we wanted to incorporate new space. Well, I didn't necessarily know what is new space, so new space is really this idea that today going into space, the financial barrier to do so has dropped significantly, opening up really a real opportunity for lots of entrepreneurship. HEC is supporting deep tech startups through our Creative Destruction Lab. So we want to showcase the most promising projects in the startup village. We also bring to the cocktail our international network. If we think about our programs, between 50 and 95% of our students and participants come from outside of France. So among our more than 70,000 alumni, we have people honestly everywhere in the world. And on top of that, we have people that have strong cultural and social capital, which we believe are very, very important to push entrepreneurship. So you will see and benefit from some of the guest speakers from that network today as well.
And you just talked about startups, you just talked about new space, which is a thrilling subject, and how you're helping deep tech startups, which brings us to an aspect of HEC that we don't necessarily know much. We know that it's a world-renowned business school, but we know a little bit less about its innovation program. So how does HEC Paris actually foster innovation and entrepreneurship within its community?
I think I already mentioned innovation and entrepreneurship is really, we're breathing and living that every day. But if we think about it a bit more structurally, we have 3 centers that encompass our missions of think, teach and act, meaning bringing together cutting-edge research, educational programs, and then putting that into action. That's really what HEC is about doing. So those 3 centers are the Society and Organization Center, which is our interpretation, let's say, of ESG. So it has 3 pillars, one around climate, one around purposeful leadership, and one around social innovation. We have obviously HEC Paris, together with Institut Polytechnique de Paris, and I know that Eric will tell us a little bit more about that, so I will not say more about it. And then obviously we have our Center Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which has been the core of HEC since our start, 1881, with the Chambre de Commerce, very much anchored into the corporate world, but our Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center has gone through a exponential growth these last years. And to give you an idea, in last year we accompanied 482 startups, of which 130 in the tech sector. We have 800 business experts that accompany our startups. And the success of those startups are shown by the fact that last year HEC alumni have raised 1.9 billion euros of investments for their companies, and among the world-leading unicorns, 11 are founded by HEC alumni, which represents 25% of the French unicorns. So all that is a cocktail that we're a dynamic that, to be honest, we have almost difficulty catching up with.
Well, I must say 1.9 billion is a good cocktail. I mean, at least
Exactly.
It sounds like a hefty price for a cocktail. You just told us about the number of startups that you actually work with, and you wanted to highlight some of them today throughout the day. There's a special program for that.
Absolutely. At 11:30 here on this stage, we have our Demo Day, which showcase 16 selected most promising projects from 2 programs that we have at HEC. One are program together with Ecole Polytechnique, HEC Entrepreneur, that every year gathers 120 students that are trained to adopt an entrepreneurial mindset. And then we have our HEC Launchpad, which is open to students from various programs. And this is a program where they accelerate their startup. It's a community, really, a learning by doing program. So we have 16 projects that have been selected and that will pitch here. So I really invite you to come and listen to them.
And as you just said, you do work closely with the Institut Polytechnique de Paris, so we're going to turn to another world-leading institution. Monsieur Labaye, you're the president of both the Ecole Polytechnique and the Institut Polytechnique de Paris. You hosted Spring 2022. You're back for another edition this year. How important is this event in the dynamics of the Paris-Saclay innovation ecosystem?
So first, I'm glad to be back here. Thanks to HEC for hosting this year. Before it was at Paris-Saclay Université. So it's for me, the spring is just a great moment to celebrate the dynamic of the ecosystem. You talked about it, Kristine talked about it. It's a mix of academic, world-leading institution, private industry R&D centers, and a lot of SMEs and startups. And so we see each other on a regular basis, but here once a year, it's a moment to, one, celebrate, second, also to showcase. It's a good moment to see what is the frontier of research, what is the frontier of innovation, and to get in one day a view of what is going on and what are the new innovations, what are the new ideas, and also how this scientific progress translates into business innovation. So a great way to showcase and also to show to investors. Because I think there are some investors today, that this dynamic, we talked about the 1.5 billion, I think we have similar numbers on the Polytechnique alumni, so I think Paris-Saclay is going to have the same. So we have a great dynamic here. It's one of the best clusters in the world, and we're just going to show and share, and hopefully attract more and more people to come and develop Paris-Saclay.
If it's such a dynamic cluster, it's also because there's a big emphasis on interdisciplinarity actions, and I know it's the same thing at Institut Polytechnique de Paris, both on education and research, in fact. So you're attending this year with 3 interdisciplinarity centers. Can you tell us a bit more about their missions?
Yeah, I think you mentioned it, Kristine, also. The world right now is facing major challenges, and what we have seen over the past few years is obviously you need many disciplines to solve these challenges. You cannot just the physicist or the mathematician to solve by themselves. And so we created 4 years ago, we started this work of creating interdisciplinary centers to address these challenges. So their mission is really to develop research. If I take a few examples, we talk about HEC Paris. We have with HEC on AI and data. We get several of the labs together, and the idea is really to promote the research, to get new ideas, to empower business, society, and bring solutions to make sure AI brings common good to the society. If we look at climate change, it's the same. We have 26 laboratories together, Energy for Climate. Some of them are private R&D labs, by the way, not only the academic one. And together we are doing research that then is also going to feed education programs. We want to make sure we are always at the frontier in terms of innovation, as well as obviously innovation startups, the incubators, and so on. And you will see also here today CEDS, which is Defense and Security. Understand the minister is at the Parliament for cybersecurity reason. We are also moving forward on cybersecurity, on crypto, on quantum physics, and so on. And the last one is in health, as obviously health is a major societal opportunity and challenge. And here we put together the computer science, life science, physicists, mathematicians to work on medtech. So bring new medtech innovation to solve basically, or to improve people's life.
And that translates into actual startups, into businesses. There are 22 startups from l'Institut Polytechnique de Paris ecosystem that are attending this year's spring event. That's quite the batch. What do they focus on? What are the main trends? What's hype in innovation at l'Institut Polytechnique these days?
So we're glad obviously to have some of the startups. Just to give you an idea, we have roughly 100 startups a year that are going through our incubator at Institut Polytechnique de Paris. We have a third of the unicorns also, a third of the next 40 that are coming out of the ecosystem of Polytechnique. So we just want to continue to get this dynamic. And so the topics, frankly, are linked to societal challenges and progress of research. To name a few that you will see, Green tech, obviously, is at the core. We know green tech solutions are fundamental to solving climate change issue. Health tech, as I mentioned before. AI and digital platforms are critical because data is everywhere anyway. So you have always a bit of data and AI in any startup. Then you have food tech also, because that's part also of the circular economy, how to improve that. And you have the space, the new space. I would also highlight mobility, as mobility is a mix of the battery side, new materials, how do you get electrical vehicle? And on the other one also is how do we leverage data to improve mobility? One example is some of our researchers are leveraging the data from satellite, from all over the world to improve the way ships are moving forward. How do you minimize the energy consumed? How do you optimize the travel? This is the type of startups that are basically bringing some solutions step by step, but at the end of the day, changing the world through steps by steps is the way it's going to happen.
And you just mentioned some of the domains that we'll actually hear about here on the stage during the Spring 50 Startup Challenge. One of the reasons why this ecosystem is so thrilling is that it brings together many world-leading institutions, and its 3 years of existence. The University of Paris-Saclay has confirmed its place at the top of major international rankings, and being at the top, being polite by saying number one. Estelle Iacona, you've been presiding over the Université of Paris-Saclay for 1 year, but you know the institution very well. You were here before. Would you agree that the success and the strength of scientific research today comes from, as Monsieur Labaye was saying, the intersection of disciplines, the fact that there's so many researchers that are able to just meet for coffee or actually go into research projects here on the plateau?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. And before answering your question, just to say that all what we are saying now this morning is the perfect image of also what we see here, all the villages, and what we do on the plateau and on the territory all together. And thank you for making sure that we are on the floor today. When I say we, is the academic institutions. It's a very nice idea. So to answer your question, first of all, of course, we are very proud of Université Paris-Saclay performance in rankings. It's a sign of visibility and it's a sign of strength of our research, for sure. But as I used to say, it's a consequence of what we do for many years. It's not a compass for our university. So why are we performing this way, and the position of interdisciplinary in that field? First, I think it's very important to remind that if we perform, it's because the members of Université Paris-Saclay invested for decades on research with dedicated fundings and with making sure that research is at the top of priority of the policy of the 14 members of Université Paris-Saclay. If you don't invest in research for years and years, you don't create performances and you don't create innovation at the end. The other reason for which we perform is the fact that we cover a very large spectrum of disciplines, of areas, from health science, life science and health, from science and engineering, and social science and humanities. And of course, if you want to tackle cancer, if you want to tackle energy, cybersecurity, you see that you need all this kind of discipline. So to go to your question, we need, I think it's the main message, we need a balance, a perfect balance between production of knowledge in disciplines, if you want to be good in research in every discipline, and with connections and interfaces, breakthrough at the interfaces between biology and computer, between materials and mathematics. And as Eric said before, data is everywhere. So of course we'll find mathematics, computer science, artificial intelligence and digital for like a transversal discipline everywhere. If you want to, even for example, a few days ago, we got what we call Institut Hospitalo-Universitaire. We got 10 in France. Paris-Saclay has 2 of them. And one is on cancer, the other one is on sepsis. Of course, we have medicine, we also have biologists, and we have mathematicians and computer science researchers. because we have data, because we have cohorts of patients and things like that. So it's a balance between disciplines and interdisciplines.
And as you just mentioned, it's not just about ranking, right? It's also about making sure that we can progress on the most pressing issues today, climate change, of course, health, as you say. So it's really, as we say here at Paris-Saclay, it's about science for good. That's what you really mean by interdisciplinarity approach, right?
Yeah, it's science for society, basically. Science to tackle challenges, current challenges. And it's a question of research. As we are speaking of research, at Université Paris-Saclay, we have 8,000 faculties covering the whole spectrum. So 8,000, it's quite a lot. On 20 campuses, not only Plateau de Saclay. When we think about Université Paris-Saclay, most of the time we think about Plateau de Saclay. Of course, we are at Plateau de Saclay, but we also are at Gustave Roussy. We also are at the west of France, in many the west of Paris region, Versailles, Saint-Quentin, and so on. But to go on interdisciplinary thing, I also want to insist on the fact that it's a question of research for innovation, but it's also a question of education. Université Paris-Saclay graduates basically 20,000 students every year in all disciplines: lawyers, biologists, physicists, mathematicians, medicine, and so on. And I used to say that we not only graduate 20,000 students, we graduate 20,000 innovators. Not only people making startups, but just being able to innovate whatever will be their job in a company, in a startup, in a group, in a public institution. And if we want to tackle transitions, if we want to do innovation for society, we need innovation from research, but we need also to graduate, and it's what we all do basically, innovators to solve, to contribute to solve when they'll do their job. So very important to understand that education, investment in education, in interdisciplinary mind, it's also very, very important.
And this coordination, as you mentioned, the fact that they all get to work together, needs a bit of organization. It needs somebody there to really help this sort of ecosystem grow and get more and more infused. And that's sort of your job, Monsieur Joutard. You're the interim General Manager of Paris-Saclay Development Authority. You're the organizer of this event. And for the past 6 years, Paris-Saclay Spring has become a key moment for the entire Paris-Saclay community. What's your role in the animation of this community? What does the EPA, the Établissement, well, in English you'd say Development Authority. I'm going to stick to English for that one. What's its job?
Hello, everybody. Firstly, the EPA Paris-Saclay, EPAPS, like we said, is leading the major urban project and architectural project in Europe, all over the plateau, as Estelle said it, and we are in charge to coordination of this urban project, and to, with the academical part, Polytechnique, UPS, and now HEC, we are very, very proud to have this role of coordination for this project. It's quite huge, 3 million square meters area here in the Yvelines for the first time. We are very, very proud, from Versailles to the Paris-Saclay campus. And I'd like first to have dear Estelle, dear Eric, and especially Kristine, which I would like firstly to thank Warning for welcoming us for the first time in the Yvelines, in this beautiful campus. And immediately apologize for my ugly English. Unfortunately, I choose Italian and Spanish and English, at least at school, so I'm not so fluent that my brilliant partners. For our goals for this project, we have three main different goals. Eric said it, we have firstly to give visibility to our startup. It's very important. Spring enabled us to give visibility to the startup that are operating around the French Paris-Saclay. you will have us all the opportunity to meet the 15 jet of the Spring 15 and discover the technology. Two, you said it, we have to promoting the potential of public research to companies willing to extend their R&D. Paris-Saclay SPRING is also an opportunity to highlight the research offering to our academic partners, Paris-Saclay University, Polytechnique de Paris, HEC Paris. And again, thank you, Kristine. We are very, very honored that you have agreed to integrate HEC Demo Days, you speak about it, to maximize the influence of our startup. We have to, on this beautiful day, many exchange to support this innovative ecosystem. It's showcase, you said it, showcase innovation to companies, which to set up a R&D center in Europe, shows them the potential of Paris-Saclay in terms of talents and infrastructure. It's also like I'd like to thank them for taking part in this event to affirm the strength of Paris-Saclay in strategic sectors such as health, you speak about it, with Laboratoire Servier, a food tech with Danone, which opened this year on the campus, or green tech with Saint-Gobain, by example, a major player in sustainable cities. Paris-Saclay, it's also business. You said it, making the most out of this day, by meeting your future partners and clients through qualified B2B meeting. And finally, this strong strategic positioning has been made possible by the mobilization of Paris Region, our partners Saint-Quentin, Yvelines, Versailles, Grand Parc, and the Paris-Saclay urban community, but also Business France and Choose Paris Region. I want to thank them for their strong support and involvement. And I like to finish this with my dream team, which is the EPAP Dream Team. Jérémy, Stéphanie, Romain, Gaël, which are present in this part. You can congratulations, je vais finir avec la langue de Molière. Merci beaucoup pour l'implication de l'équipe, ces 6 personnes effectivement sur les stands de Paris-Saclay, qui travaillent depuis 6 mois d'arrache-pied aux côtés de l'Université, de Polytechnique et de l'équipe très dynamique d'HEC pour l'organisation de cet événement et qui est déjà plongé dans la 7e édition, dont on dévoilera très bientôt le contenu sur nos réseaux sociaux. Merci, mon équipe. Et merci à tous. Et
thank you. Merci beaucoup. Thanks you to the 4 of you for setting the stage for this very important day. It's about fostering innovation. It's about business meetings. It's about helping these startups grow. So thank you very much for being with us this morning.